Look at that vehicle right there. Violating the pedestrian. Look. Remains still within. Supposed to be behind the line. See? Still right there. See? Now it turned green. He remained in the pedestrian the whole time. So the individual had the pedestrian right away. That vehicle would have been parked across the crosswalk, or if that was a blind person, they would have fell over the top of the vehicle, got hit by the vehicle, or even a person without being blind, or a person in a wheelchair. Even though the mayor and city council has wasted their time and effort on coming up with this schizophrenic idea about putting signs in the middle of the road so the state law yields to pedestrian walking and crosswalks to get individuals who are driving to stop for crosswalks, which there are yield signs, there are lights, there are pedestrian lights, and people know. Even if there isn't a sign or pedestrian, they know the pedestrian lines are there, they know it's an intersection, they're supposed to yield to pedestrians, but they don't care about people walking or in wheelchairs or otherwise. What they want to do is race around. And doing that only puts people in hospitals or in cemetery. The only way to fix this problem is to use cameras at the intersection so you can record from the police department at the intersections individuals driving recklessly, blocking the crosswalks within, or other people getting hurt or injured on film. Because people in this community in the city of Olney, Illinois lie. They get together, they go running in places like Casey's and make false phone calls to the Richland County Sheriff's Department, which is disorderly conduct, which is a Class C misdemeanor within the state of Illinois, or otherwise higher to do so when they know intentionally no crime has been committed or anything, and they make a false police call, report, or whatever. And this is how the state's attorney operates within the county of Richland. The more people can tell lies, false stories, he prosecutes people, even though a person's innocent. But as you can see, this individual, this vehicle, is also a violation. Now they got the green light. So if that pedestrian light was on and the person was walking, the person could have got hit, but he was supposed to remain behind that line. And early today, I was doing a recording concerning the same issue, and whole individuals went running in to Casey's and called up the police department with the sheriff's and made false phone calls, according to Officer Clark when he came down here, that I was recording them over at Casey's. All committed disorderly conduct that went in Casey's and made that phone call because it's against the law to to make a phone call when there's no crime, no one did nothing, and you make a false statement or call. I had the right to stand out in public, the right to videotape, the right to film. I was on a public sidewalk and a public right-of-way like I am now, and Officer Clark had told me that individuals had ran into cases, and nowhere on that film does it show me being on Casey's property, and she talks about everything I'm doing now, plus the corruption in the city and Pedestrian, in the state and the county, and all elected officials, as well the pedestrian signs. And here and there I would turn, see traffic here and there, videotape, and here and there maybe turn around like that, but to go right here to tape, but I'm not violating the law. These individuals, as shown on tape and voice, only violate the law. Of course, when I seen the officer come this way, I knew someone had to make a false phone call, because in the past, people don't like me standing on the sidewalk, don't like me out in public, don't like me in front of my house. So what they do is they call the police, using them as pawns, and hopefully get me removed from sidewalks to streets, keep me from doing my constitutional rights. They even falsely calling for calls while I'm in my house, and they do criminal damage to my house. The law enforcement, state's attorney, assists us in this with the city and the county and the state. They think by letting citizens do this, they're going to force me to move out of the city, county, and state by committing all this damage, or otherwise get me to hit them back or do something. Or when a police officer came down like before, and he told me I could not, I told him at first that I could record his voice, the camera was on. He says, no, you can't. I said, it's not a crime. I could. The state of Illinois, you can record a police officer's voice. You can video record him before then. The law is very clarified, and this is a tool that we can use against not just law enforcement officers, but corrupt elected officials, government, and normal everyday citizens. So in the event they do go and you're falsely arrested, you got the evidence, you got the proof. Not just that, but you can make fun of them and show them in the world you're on film committing criminal acts, crimes. They don't like that, and they get real violent. It's just too bad. The only thing I have to tell you, start obeying the laws, don't violate the laws like that. First, yes, you better get going. You noticed that my camera was there showing that he was parked on the line and he could have turned. And that's just too bad. But other individuals like to commit defamation of character, slander, libel people, commit criminal activity against them, and police assistant, state's attorney assistant, and they put the stuff on YouTube and other channels. But when you do it productively, such as you're just proving what they've been doing all these years, just to cover up the community and say, oh, Olney, the city of Olney is a great community. We do great. We're perfect. Spend your money here, because they know they're a rundown community where people treat people like troublemakers. And all these elected officials care about is getting voted back in office, and the only way they can do that is letting you violate crimes. And so when a person like me calls the police, they're not going to do nothing about it, nor the state's attorney, so they get voted back in office. But if they did, just think about it, the amount of fines, the amount of money, the amount of people that would be arrested. Oh, they were no longer like the elected officials then, because BGO, we called to tell them the truth. And until we call these elected officials like David Hyde, state's attorney, to the city of Olney mayor, Vaughn, the city council, and all elected officials start doing what's required by law, they're violating the law by assisting in and allowing it. And they're playing dumb and stupid. But as we can see, this is the real life. And the reason why it is the way it is today is because they let this go on since 1985 to date, almost 29 and 40 years since I've been here. Crime has got out of control. Everything. Community has got run down. That's why jobs leave. Methamphetamine, all kinds of drugs. Yeah. Stop making an excuse for yourself, the citizens of Olney, Richland County, state of Illinois, and saying, oh, it's in other communities. We know it's in other communities. What about your community? What? Oh, we don't care because everyone else is doing it? Now we know why nothing has changed nowhere within the United States of America. It's just getting worse. The citizens of the city only can make a point. Our government can make a point. Let us be the first ones. That every community throughout the United States of America can look up to and say, look, we did it. If we can do it, you can do it. And the United States will be a perfect place to live. See, she just threw a cigarette out the window. The ground. Right there. The ground. That's also a violation of the law, throwing cigarettes out of motor vehicles. It's the new law they passed in the Illinois state. It's like that sign right here, public forum, violation of the sign ordinance on the book within the city of Olney. Over there, across the street, there's another sign behind that pole. It's a violation of the sign ordinance. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be back. Do further media coverage. They even we called past school buses with stop signs out. Everyone knows that's illegal in every state. When a school bus stops to let off, puts the stop sign out. Passengers getting off the bus. Drivers of motor vehicles are supposed to stop and not go past the stop sign in the bus. Otherwise, you're violating and committing a major offense within the state of Illinois. This is Brian James O'Neill II, owner, host of the O'Neill Factor. www.O'Neill, O-N-E-I-L-L, Factor, F-A-C-T-O-R.com. Signing off.